Okay, so are we good now? Fucking hell, what is happening? Hopefully I think things are good now. Hopefully. Now we have to make sure. Jesus. YouTube just like pieced the fuck out. North Korea is trying to shut me down. Now this is whack as fuck. I don't know. Don't say we're back. It's going to jinx it. Jesus. Yeah, we were streaming and everything was fine. And then YouTube was like, all right, I'll see you guys later. And then just ended my fucking stream. Absolute insanity. Still going to glaze this game after it destroyed your equipment? I'm starting to regret it, yeah. Fucking Jesus. Hopefully, I don't know. I would imagine that this is going to set a pace for the rest of the stream, but I am determined to enjoy myself. Oh, good, a wrench. I need that. You know what? Perfect. So let's do this. The game that is, sometimes Silent Hill Book of Memories giveth and sometimes it taketh away. And now I think, and then we equip you, right? Okay, good. And then we come to you, and then we say boom. Oh, nice. What were you at the hospital for, King Grogu, if you don't mind me asking? You heard about Charlie Kirk over a month ago? Douglas Monroe. Did I hear about it? Yeah. But here's a better question. And why can't I pick this fucking... Oh, wait. I have to choose something I want to put down is why. Okay, so you can only store one weapon. Okay. I'm figuring things out, guys. Diabetic acidosis. Newly type 2 surgery on my leg. Oh, that sucks, man. I hope you feel better. That sounds fucking awful, dog. That sounds like the least fun thing ever. I cannot let them take the invincible... Oh, one already has. I need to get on the invincibility node. Camp it. There we go. Did you smell about it? I caught a whiff. This sword fucks. I just wish it would last longer in terms of durability. Played this on the Vita. Yeah, I remember when the Christmas I first got my Vita. My parents actually bought it for me, which is very nice of them. And I was sitting on the couch at my mom's house. And I was just downloading demos on the Vita all day because I'd heard about the Vita and stuff, but I never fucked with it before. So I was just playing nothing but demos. It was very fun. You know what? We should go back to the shop and buy some health restoring stuff because we're not doing amazing at the moment. Antibiotics, barf, and now I got to eat better. Gonna get off pills and needles for diabetic. Oh God, you know, I hate needles so much. I don't know what I would do if I was diabetic. Die, I imagine. Yeah, actually, I was talking about the band, The Sword. That'll make that quote make more sense. Is it Howard or Valtiel that's the shopkeeper? I don't think Howard is the male guy. What's his name? I don't think it's Howard. Is it? Honestly, I forget. He's forgettable and I hate him. But Valtiel is the guy who hands out special missions for the level.
Now don't you waste that.
What is this guy's name? I forget. He's the male guy. Is it Howard?
Thank you. Do come again.
Okay, there we go. Lots of water. See, that's my biggest problem is I do not hydrate well enough, which is why I got my water right here to remind me. What game is this? It's Silent Hill Book of Memories. I changed the stream name so people who are watching the last stream, I should probably change it back. Let's make it something witty. What should it be? Silent Hill Book of Mammaries. Like a mammary gland. How do you spell that? Is it M-A-M-M? Oh, it's mammary. Okay, there we go. I got it. And then people will think it's boobies. That's sick. Hell yeah. This is peak Jared humor right here. And now I have to change my fucking... I have to tweet something? God, this is a whole to-do. And I have to delete the last tweet. My life is so hard. I've got to delete tweets, create them. Okay, hopefully we're good now. Silent Mound's Book of Boobs. Gets right to the point. Okay, so now we are heading in a direction. Who said I'm old? How dare you? I'm 65 years young today. If I'm so old, how come I find boob jokes so funny? Explain that with your science. There we go. Fuck, okay. We need to remember that's there. Somebody remind me that's there, because I'm going to need it. Lulu. God, Squaresoft was cooking when they made her. Boobs is peak boomer humor. Is it? So I'm at the very least, I'm right where I need to be, if that's the case. Oh, okay. So I got to go back down here. I see. My deepest condolences for your struggles. I deserve your condolences. My life is hard. Jared, you aren't a boomer for the millionth time. You got to tell that to chat, not me. They're the ones you need to convince. I'm on your side. Chat seems to think that I'm old for some reason. It might be... I'm covered in gray hair. It just seems like a ridiculous assumption to come to when you see somebody whose full beard is entirely gray. Oh, suck it, nerd. Fucking asshole. If I had a ginger beard, I feel like that would be worse than having a gray beard, honestly. No offense to gingers, but when you guys grow beards out, it's like, fuck. As someone who finds beards attractive on men, that is not a very attractive beard look. Be like modern vintage gamer. 50 is the new 30. Yeah, but that guy's like super smart. He makes up for his age with wisdom. I think I lack the requisite wisdom to be on that same pedestal. I really enjoy that guy's videos. I think he needs to have a thicker skin if he's going to stay on the internet, though, because he keeps complaining that people make fun of his eyebrows. It's like, dog, you got weird looking eyebrows. You got to fucking own that. Dude, I mean, they're speaking truth to power at that point. He's got some fucking wild ass eyebrows. That's fine. You just got to keep that shit in mind. When someone makes a comment like that, be like, oh yeah, they're weird looking. Otherwise, you're playing right into their hands. Hey, here's a question. Can you fucking die? Okay, there we go. We're cooking, we're cooking. Fuck. I would like all of you to perspire, please. Wait. Perspire. No. Don't do that. Wait, yeah. What is it when you... Okay, so you're sweating. Where did my shit go? Okay. That's perspiration. What's the one when you die? Mammary glands, I like that. Fuck, that's really good. Josine must not have thought of that. That sounds like that's too good to be Josine's original thought. You know, that's a really good point, Ruben. This is very Hunter the Reckoning-esque in its sort of visual style. As a matter, oh my god. Could you imagine if they made a Hunter game on the Vita? Fucking hell, that would be so cool. Oh, I would kill for that. God, just the thought of it. Damn, that would be sick. Can't say die, Jared. It's Unalive Arena. Oh, that's right. I gotta stick with the modern fucking batshit retarded way that we have to speak on the internet. I think there was like a news broadcast where they used the word unalive, and I'm like, that makes me want to fucking actually kill myself. Honestly, these these live stream VODs never stay monetized because I cuss like a sailor in them. So feel free, guys. Go wild. Say whatever the hell you want. That's going to be my famous last words as I'm kicked off of YouTube. Yeah, White Wolf has stayed in a pretty bad spot, which sucks. Those games were so fucking good. God, it would be amazing if somebody at the very least purchased the series off of them. You know what I mean? Just something. I would do anything to continue to have Hunter games coming out. Even if, you know, I mean, because to be fair, the originals were fairly low budget in nature. So if they kept up with that, I would still be on board, you know? Guess who fucking remembered? That's right. Also, I need more health. Douglas Munro says, read my... Okay, so Jared, I think you'd be perfect for the role of Kratos in God of War. You should audition for that. Steal it from Dwayne Johnson. I'm sorry, I don't see him in that role. All in favor of... Listen, if we can get some sort of
You look like him.
petition going on, I would back it. I feel like now that The Rock is off the juice, I stand a better chance of filling his shoes, right? I'm going to come out and say it. My wife fucking yells at me so much because, listen, I've seen The Rock at his biggest. My calves are bigger than his. I'm just coming out. I'm saying the truth as I live it. The Rock's got pussy ass calves and mine are way bigger. That sounds like I'm being ridiculous right now. If we had a calf cam at the moment, you would understand that what I'm saying is so far from being exaggerated, you have no idea. I've seen The Rock's penis at its biggest. There's a point in your life when your penis begins to shrink, and what you want to do is make sure if you do have any dick pics out on the internet that it's taken at that point. Otherwise, people are getting, because if it's before that, it's still growing, and if it's after that, it's shrinking. So if you want to make sure that you are represented online at peak virility, you got to make sure that the dick pic has been taken at the apex of size and girth. Everything I'm saying is true. Maybe that needs to be my YouTube shorts, is the fucking stupid shit that I say. Who is a video editor and knows how to do shorts? Who wants to make a very small amount of money doing a lot of work? Is a better question. Could you imagine a world where there's an Avalanche Clips channel? Is that a place you want to live in? Ah, yes, the dick pic Twilight Zone. It's the dick pic sweet spot is what it's referred to as in the scientific community. Sending your soft shroom is a power move. It's true. It shows somebody that you care so little about their opinion of you that you're willing to show them your dick at its most vulnerable. Oh, good. I get to save the moment before I leave the fucking... See, this is the problem. You make dungeons that randomly assemble themselves, and they almost every single time, the dungeon has a save point right before you exit, which auto-saves anyways. God, I hate this layout. This is so annoying. It's been 15 minutes of dick talk. We can keep that going longer if you want, David. Which in and of itself is dick talk, by the way. Boosh. Double boosh. Dude, Harambe's death is a pivotal point. You can't change it. It seems to be a bit of a central point for all events that occurred after it. I can agree with that. Oh, a shovel, Valtil, you shouldn't have. You're so sweet. Okay, now we take the fire sword and we never touch the cleaver again. Jared, no, you'll summon the Silent Hill wiki editor who said Silent Hill was all about circumcision. I love that that's a thing. I'm so happy. Followed the written word. Let's see, what the fuck does seeking enlightenment mean? I'll tell you what they're doing right now is they're being racist. Are you saying the darker color something is, the least likely it is to be enlightened? I can't stand for this. Not on this stream. Okay, so then what are we saying here then? You go there. You go there. You go there. And you go there. Okay, this makes no fucking sense then. This is just dumb. If you mention weenies, Jared, I'll get my small mittens and Duke you an RE6. Listen, you better prepare for it then, because I'm talking about weenies all day. So, in Avalanche Reviews news, which rhymes and that's fun, the Silent Hill F video is finished and up for supporters like King Grogu, actually. And honestly, man, I fucking am really proud of this video. I feel like in terms of script writing, I used a more versatile vocabulary. I feel like there's a bit more variety, and I'm not saying the same things over and over again, which is something I tend to worry about in videos. So like I've tried to pull from a more varied vocabulary, which is nice. On top of that, I think the editing is really, really cool. I really try to make the clips that are on screen as I'm talking have some kind of a almost like meme quality fucking relevance to what I'm saying. I think I did a really good job with EQing my voice and making sure the voiceover is like clear, but that sort of like deep sound that I enjoy, that boomy kind of radio DJ adjacent sound, without being, because sometimes the low end can kind of get in the way of clarity. So I feel like I've reached a really nice middle ground with that, and I really kind of enjoyed the idea of talking about Silent Hill F because there was so much about it that I had a good time with, and so much that made me just fucking despise it towards the end. So I got a chance to sort of stretch my creative legs and compliment and critique at the same time. I think you guys are really going to get a kick out of it, and it should be up and available for the rest of you plebs, the normies, next week, before next weekend's, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Silent Hill was always about the combat. I actually make a comment sort of adjacent to that in the video where I talk about Silent Hill's combat has always been pretty easy and technically not challenging. And I think people are going to get mad at me about that. It's like true though. I think so. This is one thing that I've always fought against. People have this idea, and I can understand why it's out there, because like if you're gonna stan a series, it's sort of like in your best interest to make it look as good as possible. And there are, of course, what you could call technical flaws with the ways that Resident Evil and Silent Hill games come across. Yes. Oh, are they in the chat? Okay, Sarah and Sean Ocean are in the chat, and they're my friends, and they want shout outs. And the shout out is, you don't get to demand shout outs, motherfuckers. This is my show, god damn it. I probably shouldn't have used Sean's first and last name. We call him Sean River. We downgraded him. What was I talking about before? Oh, yeah. Okay, so like, yeah, there's this tendency for people to justify relatively clunky and kind of mechanically executed combat in survival horror games as it was meant to be that way, and it was supposed to be symbolic, and that's like not true. That's just the way combat worked in a fixed perspective 3D game. It was derived from Alone in the Dark, and Alone in the Dark never came out and said our combat was supposed to be this way. It was just, that's a fucking retarded thing to say. It's like, yeah, it's bad on purpose. You guys don't get it. And it's like, that's the biggest thing that I fought against creating content on the series, is people who believe that. And it feels weird that there would be people out there who are so gullible as to think that. It's like you have a car that can't go more than 20 miles per hour. And it's like, actually, no, we made it that way. It goes the most 20 miles per hour it can go. We took out everything in the car that could potentially prevent it from reaching 20 miles per hour, which is why it's so efficient at going 20 miles per hour. And that's actually the point of the car. Like, oh, okay. Oh shit, it's the butcher. It's like that Deftones song. That song's so genty. It's so fucking good. See what happens when you get butched. What's the past tense of to? So, okay, so a butcher, right? You would imagine a butcher is someone who butches. But that's not how that works, is it? I think the English language might be fucked. I think I'm realizing that in real time. Butchered? Oh, okay. That may... I did not think of that. Like, I've never fucking heard that word before. Oh, God. I'm stupid as fuck. Why does anybody watch my channel? Thoughts on private music. Private music. Is that a Deftones album? My penis is intentionally small. Many 90s PC adventure games had those mechanics. True. I remember there was one PC game that was a fixed perspective game, and you played as like a flesh cyborg of some kind that required you to hold a button and then press other buttons to attack, in the same kind of survival horror sense. I think this is the problem. This year I have not heard anything off of that album, to be honest with you. I listen to more Crosses at the moment than I listen to Deftones. I feel like Crosses is like Chino Marino's Black Audio. And my wife has been listening to a lot of Black Audio lately, so they're like fresh in my mind. And I'm going to come out and say it. I don't care who you are. Davey Havoc's new look, blah, super fucking lame. Looks like a dork. Don't like it. Not a fan. By the way, Jared, I took your advice listening to Kill Switch Engage, and now as Daylight Dies has become one. Oh, dude, killer stuff. Kill Switch is just the great equalizer. All of us are equal in the eyes of Kill Switch Engage. There's so many great songs. Rose of Sharon, oh, killer. I think the song's called Starting Again. Oh my god, just fucking amazing. And then the entire Alive or Just Breathing album, it maintains that sort of hard edge that early 2000s metalcore had, but it essentially created that specific sound, that sort of hard-edged with soft harmonic vocals. Not harmonic in the sense that they sing in harmony, but it creates, you know what I'm saying. Melodic, I'm sorry, melodic. Yeah, Kill Switch is just fucking incredible. You don't get much better than that. And then what's that song they put out a while ago? In Due Time. Oh my god, so fucking good. It's just a friend song. You know what I mean? Like, because the music video is so just them hanging out, being friends, all I can think of when I hear that song is just fucking dudes chilling. That is the soundtrack to dudes chilling right there. This is not the book of Mamacita I was looking. That's how they get you. I've resorted to clickbaiting, and it worked, and you're proof. Friend zone, it's different. It's different than the friend zone is a negative, whereas the bro zone is a positive. The way you can tell is if you're happy about being in the zone, then you know it's the bro zone. Whereas if you're dissatisfied with the zone, friend zone. It's a little litmus test you can perform. Figure it out for yourself. Oh, you know what? I saw there's this feature. Hold on. Let's spice things up. Aussie hardcore fan. No. Listen. I'm a negative approach guy. I think all hardcore should be negative. But there's some good positive stuff. There's some good youth crew shit out there. Like, listen, I primarily listen to negative hardcore about people who went through bad shit and hate the world because of it. But there's probably no better hardcore band than Gorilla Biscuits. That being said, there's a Q&A. So I don't know how this works. It says say something, but it doesn't tell me how this works. So it says I can start a Q&A, answer viewer questions live. Yo, Iffy, what's going on, dude? We indeed back. Oh yeah, I forgot I have text to speech on, by the way. Hopefully that's coming through. I'm just going to type the word question and see what happens. Start a Q&A. Oh, okay, there it is. And then, so you guys can just... This is weird. I don't understand how this works. So I guess when I'm in the Q&A, it's called questions. You can just ask me. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. Where is P stored? In the balls, obviously. Best 30 Rock quotes. Ah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be real tough. Okay, the best quote is when Jack hands Liz a note that his girlfriend gave him after sex, and Liz goes, ew, she actually likes that, and Jack goes, no, but she appreciates when it's done right. Okay, so interesting. You into posi hardcore? I post hardcore. No, not really. There is some post hardcore, so you can like Husker Du basically became post hardcore, and they covered 8 Miles High, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. But I don't get into a lot of like modern post hardcore, and that whole scene definitely doesn't do it for me. Jill is my wife who don't tell anyone. Oh fuck, I just is this thing on? It is. Top or bottom? Yeah, it depends on what kind of mood you're in, right? I would say primarily top, but I think that, you know what? That might just be the that might be the selfish person in me saying that I want to be the one getting off the whole time, when in reality I should be doing more to get others off.
I don't even know where to start. She's flipping out for no reason.
Nobody likes that.
Ooh, time to hit the ejector seat. If you're not happy, no point in forcing the issue.
This has to do with the top or bottom question. Okay, so this is all right. This is interesting. Does your questions don't? Oh, okay. Can I look at the Q&A on Streamlabs? No. Interesting. So your shit doesn't show up in. This is wild. Okay.
Probably already has a boyfriend though.
Who is Annie Mae and why does
Like
her
that right now.
her hen wear a tie? Holy fuck, I have no idea. Okay, let's see. What genre would you consider System of a Down? I didn't listen to a wide range of bands as a kid, so I just called them metal. Metal Buntney? Buttney? Didn't realize how much Nothing Quite sounds like. I would call them new metal, but they are very unique in terms of their sound and kind of hard to identify. Sort of like Deftones. Deftones plays a lot of proggy stuff. They play a lot of electronic stuff. They play a lot of djenty and experimental stuff. And they play a lot of, obviously, shoegaze. And they get hit with, and new metal, obviously, as well. But they're one of those bands where it kind of just depends on the album. And I think System of a Down stays in the general new metal area. But it is, they're a little harder to tie down because of how unique of a sound that they approach. I'm going to close the, should every Silent Hill have a corn song? Can I close this? I'm going to, yeah. We're going to end the Q&A. This is kind of interesting. Maybe I can use this in the future. I don't understand what's different between this and the actual chat, but whatever. Okay, now we're back in chat. What did I miss out on? Isn't System new metal? They are, but they are a very weird kind of new metal because you can also classify that. Like if you're going off of their self-titled album, I think there's more circus music in there than metal. Uncultured, is that what you classify them as? Have you ever thought about covering the files of the Resident Evil games? I'm planning on doing that on my new channel. And also see if you could piece together a story from just the files. That's an interesting concept. That sounds like too much work for me, honestly. That's a really good idea, though. Just reading the files alone and seeing if you can't piece together a series of events. That's a fun idea, dude.
I think I've got just the thing.
I will say, though, I think System of a Down started to really suck after the self-titled album. Toxicity sounded more like a... Okay, so you have Rage Against the Machine, right? And then you have, like, Guerrilla Radio, Rage Against the Machine, which is Rage Against the Machine distilled down to its most simplistic and have fun kind of form. And I feel like all the music System of a Down made post self-titled album was very radio friendly. It lost its hard edge, more clean vocals, less heaviness, and more of a radio friendly attitude. And I just can't get into it quite as much. I mean, like the music it's good to like. Toxicity is a fun song to listen to, and it's something that's very easy to hum and keep in your head, but it's so simplistic in that sense that I think it really differs from stuff like Spiders or War ? I don't know how you're supposed to say that title. Are you just supposed to say War? We don't speak anymore of war. God, I'm jamming that fucking album as soon as I'm done with this stream. That shit's too good. Bro Job is a band. They are. And I don't get into them. I don't like joke bands. You know, it's especially Tsunami. No, Tsunami's heavy and they put on a good live performance. But it's just really funny because they're such fucking dorks. And, you know, I saw them here in Tokyo for Blood Axe Festival. And you got this fucking like dorky nerd of a lead singer. And he's like, yo, we're from Sacramento. Fuck the police. And he's just this dork who doesn't have a record and has never been arrested before. And it's like, I don't know. There's something about it. It's funny as shit. Okay. Chased from fire. Followed the setting sun. Fire's red. And then setting sun is maybe, I don't know, fucking yellow. Oh, good. Grand. This is so hard to do on a fucking touchpad. You fucker. Okay, how about this? All right, then, I guess blue? I mean, we're just doing shit. I knew it. I knew that, by the way. I want you guys to know. Sacramento? Yeah, I thought that... Oh, no, they're from the Bay Area or something? I forget where they were. Surge is just a silly little guy, isn't he? What's your favorite Resident Evil clone original soundtrack? Oh, that's tough. I would probably go with Tormented Souls. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Really, really great soundtrack on Tormented Souls. Speaking of which, the second one's out. Is there going to be new Crossed? Holy shit, that's wild. I just finished one of the offshoots. Where it takes place in the future. And the Crossed are mega smart. And they're taking over settlements and shit. Alyssa does have a really good soundtrack too, that is true. It has a really good soundtrack. I think Alyssa's soundtrack is so tied to the game, though, in terms of feeling. It's a little harder for me to listen to. There's 2 tracks off of that I keep in my... when I write scripts, I listen to, like, video game music and survival horror stuff. There's 2 tracks from that album that stay on my writing script playlist. But there's, like, 6 tracks from Tormented Souls that I keep on there. It's not publicly available, but Benighted has a really, really good soundtrack as well. Or Be Crowned, I'm sorry. Benighted is a really good, weird French death metal band. You know what? Play Be Crowned, listen to Benighted. That's how we're going to tell the difference. God, Benighted is really good. You know, back in the days of MySpace, Benighted actually followed me on MySpace. That's how I knew I had made it in the death metal industry. 10 hours of throat singing from Siren. I think it's funny that Surge is anti-government, but everyone else in the band are conservatives. Yeah, I think that's how most bands are, though. It's just like the lead singer is usually in charge of the lyrics, so obviously they're going to decide the general tone of things. But I think when you have a band that's all dedicated to a single idea, it's kind of, it feels less organic in a way. It's just really hard to get a bunch of people in the same room that all think the exact same way. But, yeah, I don't know. I think, and this is my issue with System of a Down and a lot of bands that kind of follow in their footsteps, is the lyrics are so symbolic that it's really easy for me to even forget that there is so much anti-government, anti-authoritarian sentiment in there, despite, you know, being stuff that a normal person would probably agree with. It's wrapped in so much symbolism that it almost loses its genuine meaning. I don't really like a lot of heavy metal that tends to wrap lyrical meaning and symbolism. I think it's a way that lyricists can jerk themselves off a bit and consider themselves poets. I mean, because when I was in a band, my lyrics weren't so straightforward where I said the exact thing that I was meaning to say and stuff. There was a general layer of abstraction, but I think I spoke in symbolism that was very easy to understand and used sort of everyday terminology. And I think that's the way that I prefer it personally. I remember when I used to listen to Marilyn Manson, the symbolism in his songs were so fucking thick that it's like, fuck, you know, I guess I could maybe think you're talking about X, but in reality you're talking about Y, and I don't know, that's kind of frustrating for me. I have a tendency to want a sense of balance in music between artistic expression and just music in general. Like, I want to be able to listen to something and have it come across as a good song and for it to hit certain notes that I find enjoyable. And if you can pull that off while acting artistically, it's like, okay, that's good, but don't sacrifice one for the other, I guess, is the point. I don't know, just you hate to hear someone that's so far up their own ass that they think really hard to understand symbolism is like, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain. Sometimes you hear something, it's so fucking artsy fartsy, you're like, fucking lame, and it's just a natural reaction. Like, just finding some semblance of balance between the two approaches, I think, would be the most ideal. Oh, good. Swinging slow. A boom. I think AFI does a good job of having lyrics that are sort of steeped in a bit of symbolism, but it's a type of symbolism that an average person could hear and understand the meaning of almost immediately. Like that song 17 Crimes, like, if I weren't so cold, we couldn't freeze this moment. You know what I mean? It's like, it's sort of common sayings as opposed to like highly symbolic concepts that you would have to like be in the head of the lyric writer to understand. Like, you can understand even without knowing the actual meaning that was going into that lyric. You can go like, oh yeah, I get like the idea. Okay, I guess this weapon doesn't work against him. What the fuck? Oh, he's in his little, he's in protect mode. Hey, you know it'd be dope if I could hit one of you. That'd be sick. Hey Jared, have you heard of The Last Dinner Party? No, I don't think I have. What is that? Graham Bonnet. I don't think I ever heard of him either. Doug Stanhope, I love Doug Stanhope, made a joke about, if you have something to say, come out and say it, not I've hidden the cure to cancer and hid in this Rubik's Cube. Yeah. Like, I tend to feel that way, personally. I remember listening to Marilyn Manson and thinking, God, it would just be cool if he would just say the shit, you know? Like, I'm not so stupid that I can't understand the symbolism being used, but I would prefer it if I could just, like, hear a thing and then go, oh, that's the thing, and then that would be the end of that. which is why I tend to really enjoy the type of hardcore lyrics that would go into, like, say, a Blood for Blood album. It's straightforward. I came from the streets. I do not like people who lived a nicer life than me through no fault of their own. Wasted youth. Fucking, I don't live in your world. I'm not that kind of fucking person. I don't live in your, like, little cute MTV society where things are, like, nice and laid out for you and you don't have to work your ass to the bone. I enjoy lyrics like that. I enjoy lyrics where it's like, I'm gonna stomp your teeth down your throat, versus like, I want to export my rage to the fucking, I don't know, like, I can't even think of symbolism that makes any sense at the moment. That's how stupid I am with it. Hey, can I leave? Thank you, dog. Do you have a planned release date for the SHF vid? Don't remember you saying anything. Yes, I do. I think Thursday for me, so Wednesday for you if you're in the States. I'm trying. I want to release it like before Halloween, because this is the first year in a very long time that I've had like a Halloween themed video near Halloween. So it would be nice if it was like kind of around that time period. Oh shit, it's Imran. Tell us why pepperoni hot pockets are better than ham and cheese. Are you out of your fucking mind? I've known you for a long time and I didn't know I was hanging out with a degenerate. What is the matter with you? Ham and cheese is the best. I can't be friends with you anymore, dude. What the fuck? Who would say that? Imran, you're fucked up. Like, I'm just mad thinking about it. Oh, wait, I should probably, yeah. And, oh my God. I'm furious. Will it have a spoiler section? Super Zario, yes, it will. It will 100% have a spoiler section. And this time I remembered to actually put the text of the timestamp on screen when I mention it. So I'm doing pretty good. Okay, let's not go in there. We need to find a shop real quick because we might die. Ham and cheese forever. See? A lot of people have the right take on this one. Okay, I don't want to do that either. I need a shop. Excuse me, dog. Thoughts on the bands New Year's Day and The Birthday Massacre? I've never heard of either of them. Birthday Massacre sounds emo in nature, if I had to guess. Jesus. Okay, fucking Christ. Dog, follow me. Also, yeah, ham and cheese. See? Yeah. I know you said Resident Evil 7 isn't true survival horror, but what about Luigi's Mansion? That's a tough question. You know, I don't want to be seen as wishy-washy in a way, but I am sort of not backtracking on that to a degree, but like I can understand why people see it as such a survival horror game. So here's how I square it in my mind. I have a personal desire for what I would want to see in a survival horror title, and that includes aspects like the perspective, a fixed camera, tank control, stuff like that. That being said, I think maybe what I should say is Resident Evil 7 isn't my ideal definition of survival horror. Like, it doesn't fit into my personal idea of it, but, you know, I think that just might be a me thing. Because you do have elements of backtracking in there. You do have item-based puzzles, key hunting. There's a lot of the genre tenets that you can find in RE7, and enough for me to say, okay, you know, like, I could see people feeling that way. So I think it's just a straight-up me thing. But I like RE7. It's a great game. There's nothing wrong with RE7 at all. Smog Hobbit, thank you very much, dog. I had the demo for it on the Vita. I never actually purchased the game, but we're all on the same page as far as that goes. Thank you, my man. For the gains, indeed. I'm going to the gym today. Actually, lately I've been focused on the losses as opposed to the gains. I am down to 212 pounds from 226. Dude, I'm doing good. Okay, cool. Now stop dodging the Luigi's Mansion. You know, I'll be honest with you. I have never actually sat down and played Luigi's Mansion. I would have to really get my thoughts together on the, you shitty ass fucking. I'm gonna be so mad if I don't have that fucking butcher's thing. Jared's breaking up with his chat members. Yeah, you guys are done. Fucking dead to me. My philosophy is if you're making a literal RE clone, you failed in your mission if you don't have at least an unlockable pistol or outfits. I think that's fair. That's fair. It feels like the genre adapted to first person, but yeah, fixed cameras should come back, and I'm glad there are more indies with. Oh yeah, they're taking over at this point. It's great. Luigi's Mansion does have fixed camera angles. Here's the thing. This is the big difference. So with Luigi's Mansion, the camera follows Luigi, right? But it's sort of fixed to a specific perspective. With a fixed camera, you're talking about multiple different camera angles that are triggered by the player entering certain boundaries. And I don't know if that fits into the definition. And to be honest, I don't know that I care. I feel like with the amount of arguing that I've done with people on the internet on the subject, like survival horror, I might not even like it that much anymore. It's fucking terrible. I'm so sick and tired of all the bullshit. You have no idea. I remember in my video on Resident Evil 5, which at this point was so many years ago, it can legally rent a fucking car or something. I thought I had a pretty bog standard take. I was like, listen, Resident Evil 5 is not a game that is racially insensitive by its own nature because it was made by a bunch of people who were completely unaware that these stereotypes exist. And it feels very Western-centric to imagine a bunch of Japanese businessmen would be aware of racial stereotypes in your country that you live in, that you see every single day, versus their lived experience, which is none of that shit. And I spend like a good percentage of my day listening to people going, no, the things that happened in my country, those are the things that need to be put out into the world internationally. And if they don't meet certain criteria that have been formed with my experience and my cultural fucking upbringing, then it's bad. And it's like, holy fuck, dude, I don't even care anymore. Just, I'm going to rewrite the video and say Resident Evil 5 is racist and who gives a shit? Like, who fucking... I don't give a fuck anymore. Resident Evil 5 is the KKK of video games. And it's one of the best-selling games Capcom has ever made before. which is true. I think it's like its third best-selling non-Monster Hunter title. I didn't expect that Luigi's Mansion joke to stretch as far as it did. That's the thing with old baby arms over there. When he says something, it stretches. I always saw it as we've never been there, but we've seen documentaries, so let's have it look like that. I mean, that was the that was the intention for sure. And people pointed towards things as evidence of it being racist that was like shit that exists. They're like, oh, they have like tribesmen and they're throwing spears, and I'm like, that there are tribes in Africa that hunt with spears, right? That's not like. It's so incredibly like I've never left my own country before to see something like that and say like, oh, that's racist. It's like, no, that's real life, motherfucker. That's how shit happens in the real world. A bunch of people who couldn't find the continent of Africa on a map are upset that it's being portrayed in a way that in their specific culture is kind of like a niche dog whistly type of thing to point at potentially possible racism. I hate everybody. Everybody sucks. That's essentially how I end my Silent Hill F video. Yeah, I think that's true though. I think most people's idea of the continent of Africa comes from like Americanized African Americans. Not like Africans who have immigrated to America, but just people whose generation by generation to generation can be tracked back to being in America. Which is fine. I'm not saying everybody, African Americans like have to go to Africa or anything, but if you are going to speak on it, I feel like probably it would be a good idea for you to be educated to a degree on, I don't know, how the country actually conducts itself. If you're going to criticize a company for portraying it a specific way, it would be in your best interest to make sure that that's not actually how the country exists. I don't know, man. I'm so fucking tired of arguing that point. I'm just like, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm just going to start handing out cards that say I know more than you, because I have no fucking interest anymore. I remember I had an argument with a guy online, and I was talking about I would like to see the Resident Evil series step away from RE Engine because we've sort of far surpassed its capabilities in terms of modern day graphics tech. And somebody was like arguing with me, and the terminology that they were using showed that they didn't know very much about graphics engines specifically, or, and I was just like, I could sit here and have this long conversation with you, or I could just tell you don't know as much as I do and just to trust me. I know what I'm fucking talking about. Like, if you don't know that there are restrictions for, I don't know, 2D palletized texture size or resolution in an engine, or whether or not that may exist in a specific engine, it's like, all right, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't engage in an argument on the internet about it. It's racist to suggest that a town of Africa would be affected by BOWs. The Wakandan scientists had a... This is true. This is very true. And that's one thing people take into account. The existence of vibranium and how it affected Wakanda. Oh, we have a new slot. We may as well put our vitality plus. Nice. They clearly haven't seen your channel. Yeah, which is understandable. I mean, I would imagine most people on planet Earth haven't. Why is this nurse so big? Oh, she's bloated. That's not her fault. Oh, this one's explosive. See, I need to start reading their actual names down here. Boosh. Look who's a genius. Jared has gained intelligence. It's all downhill for me. As soon as I become sentient, it's fucking over, dude. What would I mature into if I were infected? Okay, so realistically, I imagine with my body type, it would be that kind of tyrant, muscular sort of thing, right? Because I lift all day. But ideally, it would be the like slim, fast, liquor kind of physicality. Because every time I play a video game, like for example, in fighting games, I primarily main female characters. Because there's something about like a thinner frame and it allowing you to be like fast and nimble and like, man, that is so desirable for me because I'm like thick as fuck. Not in the cool way, like in the way where it's like my thighs rub together when I walk. Not in the way that people use as a compliment, but in a way that people use as like a medical issue. And it would be nice to not live that life for a change. What do we got going on over here? Yeah, we want that. That's what we want. But we don't necessarily want to fight that guy. God damn it, I'm so tired of these. Fast and nimble, sure. I swear. I promise. I'm not struggling with anything. I swear. CV Remake is gonna butcher the unique weirdness of the original. I think so. Yeah. I play DOA for the plot. Listen, I swear. I mean, yes, obviously, I like looking at big fat butt cheeks. That's why I mained Armika in 5. And it's why it's a really good reason why I haven't picked up fucking Street Fighter 6 yet. I find the butt cheeks to be lacking. And if the butt cheeks are lacking, Jared ain't packing. That is... Take that to the fucking bank. Yeah, I don't know. There's something inherently attractive about a thinner, more aesthetic frame. For me specifically. And I think it's because it's something I've never had. So I've always like looked at that as the ideal. To have like a V taper to your stomach. Because I have love handles. So like I don't have that kind of super aesthetic physicality, and I wish I did. So I see myself in my idealized version of myself. I'm a very thin speed build. Not only Tekken can provide the cheeks we need, and it takes so much effort to fucking backstep in Tekken, I'll never be good at it. The sad truth. Is he bloated? Is that why he's big? No. Just regular. Honestly, I installed Street Fighter 6 and I was like, I'm definitely going to play it this time, and I just still haven't got around to it. I don't have any keys, do I? Nope. God damn. Can't afford to be losing weapon durability like this. Shit. please get off of the fucking event. Thank you. God, I'm gonna lose this sword. I'm gonna be so mad. I guess I could get it again. It's not a big deal. It's the principle of the matter. You guys have no idea. The version 1.0 of this game, holy fuck. That butcher could be glitched into throwing butcher knives infinitely. It's awful. Okay, okay, we got no fucking keys. So how are we going to get into that last room? How does karma affect the character in this game, since there's a bar at the top right, which is the karma bar? So in the top right, that bar affects certain rooms. So every dungeon area, which I think it's 5 floors for a dungeon area, has a couple of rooms that you have to do certain things in, like the rooms where I had the weird mannequins and I destroyed the mannequins. You could destroy those, or you could destroy the little girl that seems to be being ganged up on by the mannequins, and your actions will affect an outcome when you get out of that, and your alignment has something to do with it. But to be honest with you, overall, I don't fucking get it. I don't understand at all. I watched Twin Perfect's video on this game 10 trillion times, and I still have no idea what the fuck it's about. But the idea is you're supposed to go through the game and use your karma alignment to affect the outcome you get so that you get the best ending. And you can sort of like manipulate karma outcomes to turn your fucking HDMI switch off. Oh my god. Thank you. I need to get a new capture card. I think it's about time. Anyways, it's totally unknown to me. And if you know, I would like you to tell me. Okay, let's switch the pipe for the moment. Oh crap, is Book of Memories finally playable on Vita 3K? No, this is on a PS TV. We're just upscaling it through the RetroTink 4K, which is why we're having HDMI fucking sync drops. Ooh, 100 people are in here. What the fuck? You guys do me a favor. If you can hear my words, please like the stream so that you may attract others. Yeah, I mean, downpours claim to be canonical as well, and we both know that's not true. Here's the reality of the situation. There is one canon in Silent Hill, and it is Silent Hills 1 and 3. That's it. That's the storyline of Silent Hill. Every Silent Hill game that's ever been made has been a spin-off, which is fine. I mean, that's something that people really enjoy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there has only ever been a single story in Silent Hill, and it starts and ends with Silent Hill 1 through 3. So there is no this isn't canon, Downpour isn't canon, Homecoming isn't canon. None of it's canon because there's only a single story that was ever told in Silent Hill. Everything after that has been based around the town as a side story, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with a franchise being based around only side stories, but when you start throwing around the word canon as a developer who didn't work on the originals and who you show obvious signs that you don't understand the originals in terms of their narrative intent, yeah, I'm a little iffy on whether or not I'm going to believe your definition of the word canon. Which, by the way, is directed towards developers and not the person who commented that. Sounds like I'm being mean. not canon. It's true. You're a spinoff of someone else. 4 is connected to 2 as well as 1. So 1 are all 1 through 4 are all non-canon. Well, here's the thing about 4. And I'm going to get into this fucking bee's nest. 4 isn't a Silent Hill game. It was never meant to be a Silent Hill game. And it was only made one after the fact when Konami told Akira Yamaoka, if you're going to head a horror title, it's going to be Silent Hill. So Akira Yamaoka changed the names of 2 characters in a story that he had already written. If you want proof of that, ask the fucking lead artist on the team who in an interview said that Silent Hill The Room started out as Room 302, its own standalone game, and was only made a Silent Hill title for profitability after development had already started. Okay, I guess all I have left I can do is kill these fools. Oh, at least I leveled up. That's good. 87 with just the pipe is not bad. Okay, I think you have to kill all of its things and then it opens up. Yeah, see? There's nothing wrong with Silent Hill 4. It's a good game. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy it, and I'm not saying that you can't like its story, because I like its... Well, I enjoy elements of its story. There's all kinds of cool stuff about Silent Hill 4. It's just not a Silent Hill game. That's just all there is to it. Oh, is Karlik in the chat? What's up, dog? I've been arguing with people I made up in my head. I play this game to this day. Not a great SH game, but a fun, spooky crawl. Yeah, exactly. And you know, the gameplay cycle, I guess, can be, you know, kind of addicting. You know, it's any dungeon crawling RPG can serve a certain value in terms of just, you know, jumping in, gaining a few levels, grabbing some items. I feel like this is a formula that's kind of hard to ruin. And while this isn't like an amazing... There's so many better dungeon crawlers out there. I mean, as a fan of mystery dungeon games, obviously this is not going to be even in the top 100 of dungeon crawlers. But even that being said, it's a fun game, you know? Like, it's got its merits. There are downsides to it for sure. But it sort of serves the purpose of any action RPG, where it's just fun running around, hitting stuff, finding items with better numbers. Kind of a hard formula to beat. I just realized the title of the stream then it worked. It's very rare that I come up with a joke and it lands. I have not gotten a chance to play the full release of House of Necrosis yet because I've been working on this Silent Hill F thing. And because the game started to shit itself so hard towards the end of it, it took a lot longer for me to work on than I would like to admit. Why did he just lays down randomly? Can't do that. Not in a fight, dude. F has been a blast. SH fans be damned. I mean, yeah. That's when I made I have a portion in the video where I talk about, I was like, listen, if you get into this game, more power to you. That's great. I don't think that's like, I'm not describing the game as like this universal like bad concept and here's how I can improve it. I'm basically, the video is, hey, I didn't have a fun time with this game. Here's the reasons why. I mean, if you like it, fucking awesome. Like, that's genuinely dope. You played a game and had a good time and I didn't. So you win in that scenario. But here's the reasons why I didn't enjoy it very much. And coming from a Silent Hill perspective, here's how I would compare it to other titles in the franchise. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a video game. And if you enjoy playing it, then it's served its purpose. Not you, complaints I've seen. Oh, yeah. No, I fully understand where you're coming from. Because the Silent Hill fandom is... those guys are fucking insane. So I mean, the comment that I just made about the Silent Hill 4 thing, that's enough to get me knifed in certain parts of the country. So don't worry. I understand where you're coming from. Silent Hill fans are out of their fucking minds. And they're not going to enjoy a lot of the stuff I have to say in my video on F.
Take your time.
I'm excited to see how this works out.
It's good to be well supplied.
Having fun with SH Diablo? I am, actually. Oh, shit. Fuck, I should buy that. Maybe? No, I need some health items. Oh, fuck, we can buy a tool. Okay, yeah, so we're going to have to... For sure. Yeah.
I do believe you're set.
It is the mailman from Downpour. What's his face? The writer of the Silent Hill comics and Downpour. I forget his name. He was trying to push this guy as like a character that connected all the Silent Hill games together. Okay, peace out. If that's how you're gonna fucking be. Mira, come on. I couldn't get into Silent Hill F. It's a good game, just not a SH game. I agree with you halfway. I didn't even find it to be that good of a game, but there was a lot of very specific stuff that went into my playthrough being very... It was an unlucky situation, and I try my hardest to encapsulate that into the video and make room for, you know, it's like, yes, I had a terrible time with this game. There's some very specific reasons to that, and I think potentially they might be localized to my experience alone. So I'm trying not to make any like hard objective claims of fact or anything like that, and instead just approaching it as, here's the experience that I had. It might be very different from the experience you had, but I just can't justify continuing to play the game having had that experience. Hey, can you take damage? Thank you. You know what? I will punch your fucking ass to death. Act like I won't. My F gripe is that I wish I knew there was trophies for specific final bosses. So to play, it's turned 4 playthroughs into 6. You know, my thing is the endings. I don't think you should force people to play the game a minimum of 3 times in order to get the actual canon ending. That feels kind of cheap and dirty. Like, listen, multiple endings is cool, and if you're going to hide certain benefits behind multiple playthroughs, like, all right, you know, that's fair. I think to unlock certain costumes maybe, or, you know, something that's not necessary for core comprehension of the video game story, but to lock the true canon ending behind 3 playthroughs feels very weak. That doesn't feel like a good move from a development standpoint. And, you know, especially since the precedent set by previous Silent Hill games has been you can get the canon best ending on any playthrough based on playing the game a certain way. I never played Battle Network 4, but if that's how they handled it there, then yeah. They did pull one of those. I find myself in a really fucked up situation with Silent Hill F because I went into it with a negative bias. And then I started like really enjoying it. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then it got really bad. And then I was like, well, shit, I really want to like this a lot. And that was the position I found myself in with somebody who was playing a bad game, wishing it was as good as it was at the start. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I'm giving away the entire video. You guys don't even need to watch it anymore. The town parts in the middle of Africa. I think that's my favorite portion of the game is just exploring Ibisugaoka. Like, it's a fucking awesome setting for a Silent Hill game. And I went into it thinking like, oh, I don't know, because what was so good about Silent Hill was this sort of outside looking in perspective on New England Americana. It was this Japanese view of American horror traits. And I was worried that a portion of the effect would be lost when transitioning into a game set in Japan. But I think it pulled it off like crazy well. It did a great job. I just think there are elements of the gameplay that I wish would have followed the setting into greatness. Also, graphically, that game is a fucking banger. Just absolute perfection. This is what I hate about this game. I'm going to have to search through every fucking room in this dungeon now to find a single key. Kill enemies in an enclosed area to proceed is bad game design. I would say lazy game design. I think it has its place. Like, Devil May Cry games fall back on that same strategy, and I think they pull it off. It sort of feels natural in the world of Devil May Cry, you know what I mean? I have yet to find a bathroom. No, that's a very good question. Oh yeah, Lament of Innocence as well. It was a fun game. I also went into that one with the negative bias. I was like, fuck, this game looks really bad. Like, graphically, I did not like the way characters looked. I ended up enjoying it. I think my problem was I was just so obsessed with Symphony of the Night that the idea of a 3D Castlevania, I was just like, of course, there's no way you're going to be able to make a 3D model that is as expressive as the sprites in Symphony of the Night. And you know what? I have yet to be proven wrong. Some of those charms can break the game. I just got one that auto attacks. Oh, fuck. I've never gotten that before. That's sick. I would like to break the game. Okay, just making sure I definitely don't have any keys. Anybody who's familiar with this game knows that this is like quite literally part of the gameplay strategy. Aria of Sorrow is the best. Yeah, you're the best non-Symphony of the Night Metroidvania Castlevania. Yes, I think Symphony of the Night is #1. I think if you would have made Aria of Sorrow on a CD-based console, all things being equal, it would have beat Symphony of the Night hands down for sure. But because you have the variety of enemies that such a large storage medium affords, the music in Symphony of the Night is much more higher quality. I imagine Aria of Sorrow would have a fucking phenomenal soundtrack if it wasn't being forced through the exact same CPU and GPU bus that controlled the graphics. Dude, I think my brother and me spent a whole month on this crap. He gave up on any new games after Downpour. I cannot say that I can't fucking sympathize with that. Downpour sort of did it for me. And I was just like, all right, finished with this. You know what I mean? Like I was done. I was so fucking done. I played Homecoming and I had not developed the sort of anti-Silent Hill, the anti-modern Western Silent Hill bias that I have now. So I played Homecoming and was very excited. And I did enjoy it to a degree, but it is also a bad video game. I still enjoy Homecoming, but it's really, really bad in like an objective gameplay sense. Man, I don't know what my fucking capture card is on some shit today. Okay, we have to kill these guys. This is the only thing left to do. No. Screaming no helps. No, don't do that. Anybody who's actually played Homecoming knows that these enemies specifically are what I'm talking about when I say it's a bad game objectively. Oh, that did nothing. Dope. That's good. I'm happy about that. I was kind of worried that that would like give me a key that would allow me to fucking leave this dungeon, but luckily those fears got put to rest real quick. There's a fantastic mod for Order of Ecclesia called Contravania, where you can play as Bill with automatic. Oh shit! All right. I remember being mega stoked when you can get a handgun in Aria of Sorrow. I was like, oh shit, this is it. All right, well, we got to go back to the store and buy more wrenches. Such is life.
What's your pleasure?
Oh, you don't want to know my pleasure, dog.
I think I've got
You couldn't
just
handle
the
it.
thing. I do believe you're set.
Jared, can you convince Joe to get Shanoa from the Order of Ecclesia's glyph tattoos? Her entire back is already tattooed. She couldn't do it. I think Josine's first tattoo was her entire back. It's basically from her neck to just a bit above where you'd get a tramp stamp, shoulder to shoulder. Okay, no keys. We are very sure of that. We have checked 100%. And I'm definitely correct about... Okay. I might have to get those. I love subtle game tattoos. The plan next is the curse tattoo from Fatal Frame 3. Oh shit, that'd be dope. Turn the villager's pain into ink and tattoo it onto a maiden to get rid of it. Such a cool idea. Can you guys hear this music? I don't think you can. It's not good, but I want you to be able to hear it. You have a dog friend now? Yeah, that's part of my mission is to... Oh, shit. Okay, maybe this is where the key is. Yeah, part of my mission that Valtiel gave me is to lead him through this without him dying. Oh, that's where it was. You fucker. Anything else in here that I give a shit about? Probably not. Alright, I'm out. Mira, come on. In version 1.0, Mira couldn't open doors and she wouldn't follow you through them. It was fucking rough. Are you talking about SH3 Valtiel? Yes, Valtiel is the one who gives you side quests in this game. It's so stupid. Fatal Frame and Siren have a very Japanese perspective on occultism. The evil rituals are nonetheless necessary for keeping our world safe. I found that to be like a really off-putting part of the Fatal Frame games is in the endings to a lot of them, it ends up being, it's like, yeah, you got to like torture this woman to death. It's necessary. It needs to be done. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. That's usually like the bad ending.
So what can I do for you? I think I've got just the thing.
Every time he says that, I think of that Final Fantasy X2 song. What can I do for you?
Now don't you waste... Until next time.
Okay, so now we are heading this way. Oh, actually, speaking of which, for those of you looking forward to the Silent Hill F video, there's a section in it where I include some video of my travels through Japan and footage of what may at first seem like me exploring an abandoned building, but because trespassing is illegal here in Japan and I am here on a visa, obviously that's not what it is, and it would be insane for you to think otherwise. Fatal Frame's so good. 3 had some serious SH4 vibes. Dude, 3? Oh my god. If I could have... So my only complaint with Fatal Frame 3, because I think it had the best combat and exploration out of all the Fatal Frames, but it is broken up into these 2 sections, one taking place in the real world, one in the dream world. I would have liked to have stayed in the dream world and had the entire game been exploration like that, but I can't discount how cool it is being able to go to your little house and seeing a ghost feet underneath the shower and stuff like that. And it is a nice palate cleanse because it's a very modern, sterile, lit sort of Japanese environment compared to the, you know, the dream dungeons that you've been going through. But in terms of like a survival horror game, I feel like that kind of breaks up the exploration in a way that it feels kind of like unnatural. Like I every time I went into the real world, I found myself going like, oh, I was just starting to have fun, you know? But I think 3 might be my favorite in the series for sure. Although, to be fair, I really enjoyed the Wii fan translation of Silent Hill 4, like, a stupid amount. Like, way more than I should have. It's good that I get nothing from that. That's a desirable outcome. while I agree, I love the idea of nothing to do but to go to sleep. Even if sleeping is where life or death is. I like I said, I struggle with it because I like it as a concept. I just feel like in a survival